family. The Next Gen Home by Lennar has a separate private living space with a bathroom, kitchenette, and entrance all its own, but still connected to the rest of the house. It's a home within a home. New models now open in the Central Valley. To learn more, visit a Lennar Welcome Home Center near you or visit lennar.com.
By the way, you look marvelous today.
Thank you, Don. We have billboards. Is that what you said, Chris?
Oh, okay. The businesses that stand with us, so we really want to acknowledge them. First of all, DB and Company. This is David Bass, and what he does is he sponsors all the businesses that come on. He's really supporting businesses in this community, and he has so many clients and outstanding clients. And check with him with anything you need in terms of marketing and printing. Legal Shield, you've got car insurance, you've got boat insurance, you've got health insurance. You need to have legal insurance, the ability to call a top law firm, and whether it's a trivial matter, a traumatic matter, not worry about the $200 an hour billing or whatever it is for just pennies a day. You can be protected.
And we'd like to thank our friends at Kern Construction and Electric Incorporated. Robert Miller, a longtime resident here in Bakersfield, specializes in remodeling homes and businesses. Robert's number for contact is 661-322-5554.
And at long last, you are about to meet Robert Miller because he does. The life this man has lived is just extraordinary. I just want to tease on ahead. Later in this show, you're going to hear from an expert about posture and its impact on health, and how just leaning over at your table or at your whatever device you're working on can the negative impact it has on health for children and for adults.
Yes.
That's just ahead. But now, the man.
Yes. Don, let me say something, please, before we go to Robert. This precious little... I call it a squeeze ball, but what is it?
It's a squeeze
stress ball. It is a stress. But Dave Bass, DB Printing and DB and Company Printing and Marketing provided these. Of course, we purchased them, but we have Open Up on there, and everyone in our studio audience gets to go home with one. Yay!
Getting strong with Open Up.
Yes, getting strong with Open Up. And now, yes, we have Robert Miller. This, my darling, sweet. Okay, I won't go into all that.
All right.
This is my husband. You want to talk more about it?
And that's a story, but I guess we'll save that for another time. You talk about an amazing story.
Robert, welcome to Open Up.
Thank you.
And this is your first time in front of the camera, but you've been a supporter, and we thank you so very much.
Yep.
And my first question for Robert is, when do you come and rewire our stove? No, I'm just teasing. No, Robert does everything that you need around the house.
Next week, he says.
All right, Robert.
Okay, Robert, Swaparama.
Swaparama.
Tell us. Go ahead, Don.
Give us the history. You have an amazing history with something that's just become a huge phenomenon in America.
Well, you know what? Swaparama was quite an era. Excuse me. I was in the insurance business here in Bakersfield, and this is 50 years ago. And a friend of mine come up and says, my friend is starting a swap meet. He wants some insurance. And that's how I met Jay Dolly. Jay Dolly had a swap meet on Union Avenue, a little bit about a block south of White Lane, in a vacant truck lot. And he had it there for about 2 years. And I have sold him his insurance. And then one day, he had an opportunity of buying the go-kart track that Hale Costerson had built out on Wyble Road, and so which is all laid out in little awnings and thing. So he bought that, and he had it for a little bit, and then he said to me, "How about coming down and working on the weekends for me?" I said, "Yeah, okay, I'll do that." So I did that for about maybe a year. That would be about in 1960.
And doing what in that time
Just
frame?
kind of managing the swap meet, making sure that it was done.
Okay.
And then after that, he went down to La Mirada and started the swap meet down in La Mirada. So he had Swaparama. He started out in series up by Modesto, come to Bakersfield, went to La Mirada. And so he said, why don't we start a business together and go into business? I sold the insurance agency and went to we started a business called Coast Promotions. And forgive me if my time frame is not quite the same, because that's 50 years ago.
We'll forgive you, Robert.
But anyway,
Just keep it rolling.
We formed a corporation called Coast Promotions.
Robert, may I ask you, what excited you about giving up the insurance business and going into selling and trading?
That's an odd choice, it seems.
To be honest with you, I can't answer you because that was 50 years ago.
I don't remember.
But anyway, we went down and we met some people from Texas. One of them, a couple of guys owned a drive-in theater in El Paso. So we went down to El Paso and started one in El Paso. And I went down there. I mean, we had a big thing. We brought in helicopters to have a helicopter ride. I mean, with big grand opening. And then we formed this other corporation. We met up with some people that owned 200 drive-in theaters. They were out of New Orleans. They said, take any one of our drive-in theaters that you want, just let us know. We started in Houston, Corpus Christi, Oklahoma City, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Metairie, Louisiana,
Holy cow.
Shreveport, Louisiana, Mobile, Alabama, Pensacola, Florida. And I mean, it was interesting for me because I'm having to go start these, and I'm starting about one a month and going around. And I had a great system of doing it.
We want to hear about it.
No. So anyway, doing that. And then after a couple of years, we decided to start buying property. So we had a piece of property that we wanted to buy in Oklahoma City. So we went and bought that piece of property and put in a swaporama there and had that for a while. Then we expanded a little bit. And Jay Dolly was a fantastic person, but he was the lousiest businessman in the world as far as that. I mean, he didn't want people to think bad about him. So if somebody says, I want $100 for this, he'd say, I'll give you 110. You know, he wouldn't want him, he wouldn't juggle. So I did all the negotiating everywhere. Like in Oklahoma City, he'd come in, signed the check, flew back out. You know, that was it.
And Robert, tell us, how did you get from Louisiana to Pensacola to this to that? How are you at liberty to tell us how you traveled so quickly or get around?
No, well, the point is that when the time comes to take over these theaters, I moved to Houston, took my family to Houston.
Oh.
And so I worked out of Houston, had an office in Houston, and so therefore I could drive to these things. And we were in San Antonio, Texas. By the way, San Antonio is still operating. It's probably the only one that Swaporama is still operating. The corporation, the trademark Swaporama has went by the wayside. Where's that?
Yeah, they can see it. Turn it to the left.
This here shirt is. I used to buy these things by the hundreds with white shirts.
Let me see
they,
it, please.
They cost $1 a piece then.
$1 a piece.
And I made the Swaporama signs. I had them made, and I'd iron them on because all of our staff would wear these shirts. The managers would wear red with white, and the staff would wear white with red. So we had a great operation there. And enjoyed it, traveling all the time. The interesting thing was that we had a great relationship with the drive-in theaters. And I mean, they say, take any one that you want. And I mean, so we would pick it out and go and start a swap meet. Very profitable, more than you can imagine.
Wow.
More than you can imagine.
Wow.
The swap meet in La Mirada Drive-In Theater was so profitable. It's almost, I don't mind. This was 50 years ago.
Okay.
50 years ago. Their deal with the drive-in theater is we split the income. They get half, we get half. They get the concession stand. The income coming in to Swaporama was $10,000 a week.
Wow. $40,000 a month. Amazing.
Yes, all the
You know,
stuff
here's
out
a guy
there.
I've known for 25 years, and I did not know the dimensions of this life.
I didn't get the money though.
What was the appeal? What do you think is the appeal of these? Why it's been so popular?
I think it's within a person's nature to do this. A certain amount of people to go in and buy and sell.
Robert, what about one man's, how does it go? One man's junk is another man's treasure.
Yeah, that's true.
Is that
That's true. Well, you know what? Another thing too about swap meets is not only the buying and selling, but the camaraderie out there. I mean,
yes,
you had a lot of the people just going around and talking to each other and telling their stories about what they're doing.
You know, a lot of friendships formed out there, a lot of lasting things. You know, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Robert, as you know, we want to be a resource for businesses out there. We want to draw on some of the lessons that you learned that can apply to other businesses out there, how to start a business, how to run it. We'll be right back.
Got one other story.